guys, welcome back to my channel. What I have for you today is a really cute Dollar Tree Farmhouse DIY. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And if you subscribe, hit that notification bell and set it to all so you won't miss an upload. So let's get started with this really cute DIY. Okay, here you'll need some Waverly chalk paint in the Cashew and the Waverly chalk paint in Hazelnut, and I bought them both from Walmart. Okay, you're also going to need a glue gun and or E6000. The hot glue will hold it until the E6000 sets up. I really didn't use my foam brush, but I did use my bristle brushes, and then you always want to have something. I use a little spatula to keep from burning my fingers. Okay, for the DIY itself, you're going to need some type of container. I believe mine is around 10 inches. I measure it for you in a minute. And it just contained like hot peppers in it. That's all we had in ours. So you just need some kind of relatively large container, and you'll see right here it's about 10 inches. And I wanted to make something that would look like a milk can. So then I go to the Dollar Tree and I pick up two little dog bowls, and it's such an easy way to make a milk can. I thought that would give us a good look for the top and bottom. Then you're going to need something for the handles, and we just had some electrical wire laying around the house where we had renovated our bathrooms, and I just bent them till I thought they looked like the handles of a milk can. You can purchase this at Lowe's very inexpensively, or Home Depot, or since they're only about 8 inches long, they may just give them to you. Then you're going to need some sort of sticker or embellishment for the front of your milk can, and I chose this. It just talks about cheese. It's in French. And I either found this on Google or on Pinterest. I'm not sure. If I can find it, I will put it in the description box below. Okay, I just opened my container and I'm pouring out the Waverly chalk paint in Cashew. And you need a little bit, not a ton, but you will need quite a bit. And at first I was going to use the foam brush, but it felt like it was dragging a little bit to me, so I didn't like that. So I switched to one of these bristle brushes, and I think that I got that in a set that Donna Dewberry put out many years ago. And it went on much smoother that way. And I found that if you go around the center of the container, it works better. Then for the ridges, go up and down, and it gives you a really nice coat. And I put one coat on it, and then I went back in spots and added more to it. But you could use any container that you have. It wouldn't have to be something like this. If you go to Sam's or Costco, you can find large containers like that. Here I'm just setting it down. I think I have it painted as well as I need it. I decided I would let it dry. I found a few places that needed to go over it, but you have to be careful until it's thoroughly dry. So then I went ahead and painted the lid. You really don't have to paint the lid. No one's going to see it, but I decided that I would, just in case I want to use it for something else. It's always good to have it painted and complete. Okay, now I'm pouring out some more chalk paint in Cashew, and I picked up two dog bowls from the Dollar Tree, and I'm tearing off the label on the bottom. I don't think you're not going to see them, but I wanted it to be as clean of a finish as I could get. You could soak it off if you wanted, but you really don't have to. but they had the large water bowls and then these smaller water bowls, and these are like metal with like a plastic on the back. So I went ahead and picked up 2 of those. Okay, now I'm painting the dog bowls, and you need to paint on one of them you don't need to paint the bottom, and on one you don't need to paint down inside where the water would be, but on the others you do. And it took about 2 coats to get that covered nicely, but I think it turned out really good. Okay, here I'm just using a hair dryer set on high warm to dry these in between the coats. I really need to get a heat gun is what I need to get. Okay, I have my 2 pieces of wire. There's just electrical wire, like I said, that we had left over from a remodel. And I'm painting it with the chalk paint, and I just bent it to where I thought it would look like handles for a milk jug. But I think it really gave it a good feel, and you paint both sides and it dries very nicely. I was going to spray paint all this, but it rained every day until the very day of the project, so I had to do just paint it in the house. All right, I have everything painted. So now I'm going to put the lid back on the container and get a good feel for where I want the handles to go. I started to put the top that gives it the milk can look like this, but then I realized you couldn't see it, so that wouldn't help. So I revamped what I was going to do, because all you're really doing is just gluing those 2 bottom dog bowls together. So I put a lot of hot glue on here. My glue gun wasn't quite hot enough. So then I just started looking at how I wanted my handles to decide which way I thought they looked the nicest. And then by that time, my hot glue gun was much more ready for action. So I just put this at, now what you would really want to do probably, although I use Gorilla Glue and it holds very nicely, I would also use E6000 in combination with that. And that's what I'm telling you. One of the dog bowls is painted on the inside, and I also painted that one on the bottom, which I really didn't need to do. So you just press that on there, and then that gives you the part that's going to give it the milk can look. So then I decided I would pick up my handles and start gluing them on. Now I would recommend, the hot glue did hold, but you have to hold it on there a while, and it did not melt my plastic at all. I would recommend the combination of E6000 and hot glue right here. But you do want to hold it just for a while, but I'm tilting it to the side so you can see. It really does look like a milk can to me so far. I'm really pleased with how this is turning out. Okay, now I have the second handle, and I'm looking at it and putting the hot glue on it as well. And I'm just going to hold it for a while. It took, oh, maybe, I don't know, 2 or 3 minutes to set up, but like I said, I would do the E6000 in combination with it. Okay, now I'm taking the Waverly chalk paint in hazelnut, and I'm going to, first I used one of the little daubers and pounce some of it off, and I thought that I would sort of distress it that way, and I really was not liking the effect that I was getting. It just was putting too much on there for me. So I do something about that in a minute, but I went ahead and just put it on, and I knew what I was going to do, so I thought, well, I'll just go ahead and put it on underneath, and then I'll go back over it in a minute with the cashew, since I'm really not liking how this is looking out. So you really cannot mess up a project. It's virtually impossible. So then I decided I would sort of try to wipe some of it off. So I took a napkin in the side of my dauber, but I just didn't care for it. So I decided, like I said, that I would go ahead and put the cashew back over it. Okay, so I decided I would go ahead and glue my top on, and I'm just putting the hot glue right along the rim of that. I would suggest E6000 in combination with that though. And I'm putting it on there so I can see exactly where I need to distress it and what will be seen and what won't. Then I decided I would take one of my just brushes and dip into the cap of the hazelnut chalk paint and just sort of come down through there, and I was liking this effect much better. I'm sorry that it was really not, it's in the shot but not quite. You can see around the lip there the effect it's giving, and I like that. I really should have laid it down. I don't really know why I wasn't. And anyway, so you can see some of that I didn't like is still on there, and I take care of that in a minute. I just wanted to get on there what I wanted, and then I was going to get rid of everything that I didn't want. Once I had it distressed like I wanted, I just dipped back into my cashew chalk paint and went over and covered up everything that I did not like, and it covered up very nicely, and it softened it, and in some cases totally covered it up. But it really, I just like that effect that it gave it. So it ended up being, I think, really good. So now I'm going to go ahead, I'm looking at it to see if I think it needs more distressing, and it does. So I'm dipping back into my hazelnut and just coming right down through there, and I go in between the hazelnut and then the cashew, covering anything that I see that I may have missed, and then I dip back into my cap, pounce some of that off, and I love that little effect that I made on the side. It was a purely accidental, but it really turned out nice. And then I just came straight down through there and just continued to distress it how I wanted it. Okay, now I've gone ahead and printed out that really cute French country farmhouse image. It talks about cheese, and I thought that it would go really well with the look that I had painted the milk can. And I wanted it to be clear, so you could use clear Avery sticker labels and just print this off. If you don't have a Cricut, you can still make this. I printed this out with my Cricut using the clear printable vinyl, I think it was. So I just put that on, and then I'm peeling it off, peeling my transfer tape off. But like I said, you can definitely make this without a Cricut. Okay, this is how it looks setting on my hearth. I love how that turned out. It is so pretty. I love milk cans and they are so expensive. You would never know that that's my little trash to treasure Dollar Tree Farmhouse DIY. I'm really pleased with it, and I think that worked out really well for the handles. But you could use a number of things. You could use coat hangers or anything like that. Well, guys, I hope you enjoyed this little trash to treasure Dollar Tree DIY. I had so much fun making it. It's really very easy to take two items from the Dollar Tree and something that I would have thrown out anyway, and just make such an adorable little milk jug. I love how this turned out. It is so cute and so sweet. So I will see you on Monday for a Cricut DIY, and it'll probably have something to do with Dollar Tree, maybe not though. And then Tuesday we'll be back with another DIY, probably from the Dollar Tree. So like I said earlier, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out on YouTube, and I would love it if you would consider subscribing. And when you do, hit that notification bell and set it to all so you don't miss an upload. So until next time, bye guys.